Hello, my name is John Rose, and in this video I'd like to take a closer look at the starving artists in our society. The composers, sculptors, painters, poets, prophets, sages, philosophers, healers. These are the dreamers in our society that make the hell we live in bearable. And our salvation is in the starving artist in our society. So this video is a special appeal to all the starving artists to come together and unite, and let's offer a unified message that there's something we can all do to make this world better, and all we have to do is what? Be the best that we can be. Who wouldn't want to do that? Well, darn it. In order to make that happen, that means we might not be able to keep doing what we've been doing. Of course we can't. That's the whole point. If we're not the best that we are, we're doing something wrong. We've got to come up with some way to change that, don't we? Remember, everything we do affects us, and those effects are going to accumulate and be reflected in what we got. And what we got is not the best that we can be. So all we have to do is start making better choices. And we can start off slow if that's the way you want to go. But if you want to make this easy, the best way is to test an idea as time has come. It's an idea whose time has come for a reason. Because it's too difficult to make better choices while we're still doing some things. The best thing to do, take a solid food vacation. That's what I'm talking about. It's hard to eat better as long as we're still eating. But when you take a solid food vacation, what we're going to do is correct 5 main mistakes that are creating the hell we live in now. Where if it wasn't for the starving artist, we'd be doomed. Humanity would be lost already. So it only makes sense that the trim tabs to the trim tabs will be the starving artist. And I understand how difficult this is for many of us to understand. Because everything can be put in a bell-shaped curve, where on each end we have extremes. And when we're on the extremes, the ones who can relate to the extremes the most are the ones closest to the extreme, to the edge of the bell. Take IQ, for example. They say that people above 130 are geniuses. That's 2% of the population. People below 80 are mentally challenged. And that's the other 2%. The other 96% are in the middle. It only makes sense the ones with their closer IQ might be able to relate on some level to the higher IQs. Obviously, there's a whole lot more to life and intelligence in a stupid IQ test. There's a lot of different ways of it. There's more than one type of intelligence. And but the point I'm trying to get here is that when we're in the bell itself, it's really difficult to understand or relate to the edges of the bell. That's why they appear to be dreamers. They're not being realistic. Come on, let's be idealistic here. You're not being realistic. You're just afraid to be wrong again. You're not confident enough that you found something that works. I found something I know that works. It's already been done. There are 14 million people taking a solid food vacation back in 1997. Let's do it again. Come on, you starving artists out there. You're the ones who got an audience. You're the ones who've got a message to tell. What is the message? We got to correct the biggest mistake we ever made. But we're in denial, and people are saying it's what made our brains grow. God, you people. Who's telling us this information? Evolutionary psychologists? My God. Mind-boggling how people will believe what they want to believe. There's no logic in damaging something and that making us better. There's none whatsoever. Oh, you get more calories. You don't need to cook your food to get more calories. You can eat more bananas, more durians. It's not that hard. And when you're using that argument, you don't even know what a calorie is. A calorie, see, we can't measure the energy in food, but we can measure the heat that's given off at the same time. So there's a correlation there, and that's what we kind of use to figure things out. But it isn't the calories, because there are living calories and dead calories. Come on, man, if your brain's going to get better, you got to use better nutrition, not worse nutrition. Oh, but cooking, you get more lycopene and beta-carotene, but you lose half the protein. Oh my God, the protein. Aren't you worried about the protein? You fools that are using this for an excuse are probably going, but the protein, but the protein. Well, what are you cooking your food for if you want your protein? And what about the vitamins and minerals? 30 to 70% of the vitamins, we lose those. We can lose up to 40% of the minerals, 100% of the enzymes, and there's a lot of controversy on how important those are. I don't even like to use them as an argument why we shouldn't cook our food, because the science really isn't one way or the other, in my mind, where I could go one way or the other. So it's a moot point, but it's dead food, we know that. The most important thing is destroying the biophotons, and that's what matters. That's what makes us lose our senses. That's why we're in hell. But we can get out of hell by not making the first mistake that destroys a nutrient that feeds one of our senses. I've said this over and over and over again, but I'm hoping there's going to be people watching this video that have never seen any of my other videos, and they don't know what I'm talking about. I'm saying, my friends, that we're supposed to have 6 senses, but we only have 5, and that's why we struggle. We're senseless. We have the wrong mentality as a result. That's why we prey systematically upon our own species. That's why we compete for resources on an abundant planet. And things are never going to change unless we change our mentality. So we need the trim tabs on the trim tabs, the starving artist, to get this bottom-up ground movement moving, grassroots movement moving. We need to get excited about a whole new way of life. We got to be drunk with enthusiasm for a better way of life based on simple laws of nature that have to do with simple food, that has to do with our species-specific diet, with an understanding that we're damaged, the environment's damaged, and that ideal diet, that species-specific diet, might not be all for all of us. Some of us might not do well because we don't live in an ideal world anymore. So we have 2 groups of needs. And I say this over and over and over again, and again, I'm hoping one of these darn videos are going to get a bunch of people's attention, and this will be all new to all of you people. Otherwise, I'm sorry, you're, oh my God, he's going to say that again. No! Yes, every video I got to say the same thing. It's too important. We got to correct the fall of mankind. We got to gain back our senses. We got to change our mentality. And when we do that, everything will change. We'll finally get rid of the biggest obstacle we have is money. We have a need for money. That in itself is a problem of knowledge. We shouldn't have an exchange mentality. That's what I mean when I say we have the wrong mentality. And how can cooking our food affect our mentality? Because it destroys the sunlight energy that we're supposed to store in the nucleus of our cells, and that's how our cells communicate. That's our 6th sense. It's our spidey sense. It's how we feel one with one another. And that's why when we bump those up, we'll have a different mentality. And I know I might as well just be talking to this rock down here as I am everyone else who has a low biophoton level, because you can't wrap your brain around something that's this profound. It's a revelation. You got to do it. So get excited and do it. Go down below and listen to the Dr. Roba interview. Very exciting. Watch the Deborah Duncan show. Very exciting. Watch my seminar on how to do a solid food vacation. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like my message, my overall message, please subscribe to me. Share this message with other people. Reach out to those starving artists, because those people are the saviors of humanity. They have been for eons, ever since we've been in the dark ages. And they're going to be the ones that's going to help us. They're going to be the trim tabs to the trim tabs that will finally turn our ship away from that iceberg where everyone's suffering needlessly. I'm telling you, my friends, if you got arthritis, go on a solid food vacation. Several months, there's a good chance it may be completely gone. And if you haven't had it very long, within a couple of weeks, it'll be gone, I know. Blood sugar, gone. Now, you may have damaged your adrenals and things get a little more complicated, but for the vast majority of people who suffer from high blood sugar, the main reason is you're just dirty. Clean up the body and the sugar can go into the cells. It's not complicated. How do I know? Because I've coached lots of people. And we got to monitor their blood sugar in the beginning, because you can take too much medication. You got to cut back on your meds almost immediately. So that's what's so exciting about this time. There are tons of people who are suffering. There are tons of starving artists that are trying to make this world better. And in their own little way, they're working downstream. But we all have to go upstream. We all have to get reconnected and realize that if we don't do that, along with what else we're doing, it's a distraction. Now, most of what we do is a distraction. And I want to say something right now. Set the record straight. A lot of what I say could be all wrong. And a lot of it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't care if I got my timetables wrong or the sequence wrong. The only thing that matters is we're not supposed to cook our food. You can't argue that with anybody. You can't argue that we're supposed to eat animals because we don't have the anatomy. We are clearly not, meat eaters. Look at our anatomy. Our intestines are too long. Meat is for short intestines. Meat not long. You won't understand that unless you watch one of my other videos. So go back and watch all my other videos and find where I said that. No, just teasing. Anyway, this is too important. It's too exciting to get involved in this. Remember, this is a grassroots movement. It's a bottom-up movement. There are no systems that can help us come down and help us. And even the movement ourselves, we're going to be infiltrated. I'm already seeing it all over on my channel. It's not hard to spot an internet shill. And luckily, there's hardly any of them on here anymore. So I've had to delete a lot of people, and I will continue to do so because I don't want my channel to have a bunch of distractions. I don't want to argue about one of my pieces. If you want to argue, if you don't believe that I came to the right conclusion about something that doesn't matter, don't put it down on my channel. I don't want it to put up a bunch of garbage down there. It's not my ego. It ain't my ego. I want people to come to my channel and read all the testimonies of people doing a solid food vacation. Now, I'm not saying let's not have other conversations. There's a lot of things we can talk about that aren't distractions that go along with this. But I don't want to talk about flat earth. It's a rabbit hole. Don't go down that rabbit hole. It's a stupid rabbit hole to go down. Who cares? I don't care if there are aliens and we're on a flat earth. That doesn't do anything right now. It's a rabbit hole we can't prove. All we know is we're not supposed to cook our food. We got to correct that mistake. And then if we do that, we go, hey, guess what? The earth is flat. There are the aliens. Okay, now what do we do? Hey, who's going to be able to prove that? You can't. It's a rabbit hole. There's a lot of rabbit holes, and a lot of them are fun to go down. And most of them, we don't want to waste our time. It's a distraction. Remember, if we're not getting reconnected, it's a distraction. Flat earth, distraction. Stop cooking your food, get reconnected, don't you see? How do you do it? Well, it's too hard to just say, I'm going to eat a raw vegan diet. For most of us, the solution, once again, solid food vacation. Please, if you like my video, give me a thumbs up. If you like my content, you want to hear more videos, subscribe to me. And please share this message. Find people who need this help and are looking for a change in life, and they want a treat.